You see that little text bubble vanish, and you feel a part of you vanish with it. It's not about the message. It's never about the message. It's about the silence that follows. A silence so loud it screams your replacement. You sit there, phone in hand, a hollow man in a quiet room, and you try to logic it out. Maybe she's busy. Maybe her phone died. But your gut, that ancient, primal part of you, knows the truth. It knows that silence isn't empty. It's occupied. You're being digitally erased to make room for someone else. That deleted message is a funeral for your connection, and you weren't even invited to the service. You're about to understand the brutal architecture of female detachment, the psychological machinery that allows a woman to remove a man from her life not with a bang, but with a backspace. This is what happens when her comfort becomes your collapse. When her biological imperative for security overrides your emotional need for closure. You're about to see the ghost in her machine, and it looks a lot like the man you used to be. I remember the first time it happened to me, not the first time a girl ghosted me. That's kid stuff. This was different. This was the erasure. We were in the middle of a conversation, a real one, the kind that felt like building something. I sent a message. I saw the read receipt, and then nothing. The digital clock on my screen became a ticking time bomb in my chest. An hour 2. I went about my night, made dinner. The knife hitting the cutting board sounded like a hammer on bone. Watched a movie. The characters' voices were just distant noise behind the screaming in my own head. Just text her, one part of me begged. It was the weak part, the moody child. Don't you dare, the other part growled. That was the proud part, the king whose throne was cracking. I picked up my phone. The screen was a black mirror showing a man I barely recognized. My thumb hovered over her name. This wasn't about love anymore. This was a battle for my own sanity. It was a war fought in the 3 inches of glass and light in my palm. I opened our thread. My last message sat there, a lonely monument to a connection that had already flatlined. And then I did it. I typed her name, a single, stupid question mark. I hit send. The message went through, and then it was gone. Not delivered, not read, deleted. She had deleted my message from her side of the universe. In that moment, I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel sadness. I felt a cold, sterile void. It was the feeling of being a file in the recycle bin, one click away from permanent deletion. My pride was a sandcastle, and that little message deleted notification was the tide I was left with, the wreckage and the chilling understanding that I was already a ghost in my own life. The battle wasn't with her. It was with the meaning I had attached to that silence, and I was losing. This is where you are right now, staring at the void she created. And the first mistake is trying to fill that void with reason. You think, what did I do wrong? Brother, you are asking the wrong question. The deletion of a message is not the start of the process. It is the end. It is the final clinical act in a long silent operation. You are not being replaced by another man, not yet. You're first being replaced by an idea, the idea of a life without you. She's begun the emotional accounting and your column is in the red. She's testing the waters of her own independence from you, and she finds the temperature acceptable. The first truth is the pre-launch sequence. Every woman, on a subconscious level, operates with an emotional life raft. She's constantly, quietly, ensuring it is inflated and ready to go. Your value to her is not static. It is a stock price, and she is the sole trader. When she feels the portfolio of your relationship dipping toward a crash, she begins a silent, methodical sell-off. She liquidates her emotional attachment. The deleted message is not a message deleted. It is a stock sold. It is her cashing out her emotional investment before the market collapses. She's protecting her principle, her heart, her ego, her future stability. You are now a volatile asset, and she is getting out early. You won't see this coming because you're looking for a fight. You're looking for a dramatic breakup, for tears, for a final conversation. You're preparing for an earthquake. What she is giving you is a quiet sinking, a subsidence. She is not arguing with you because she is no longer trying to build a case for you. She is building a case against you. Every minor inconvenience, every small disappointment you've ever provided is now being logged in a mental ledger. That time you were late, that joke that fell a little flat, the way you chew your food, These are not grievances anymore, they are evidence, and she is the judge, the jury, and the executioner, holding a silent trial in the courtroom of her mind. The deletion of your message is the gavel coming down, the verdict is in. You are guilty of not being enough to justify the effort anymore. This is where most men fail completely. They panic. They send the question mark. They send the "is everything okay?" They send the long, heartfelt paragraph pleading for a response. You've just delivered your own confession to a crime she already convicted you of, the crime of neediness. You've handed her the final piece of evidence she needed to confirm her decision. You've shown her your desperation, and in her eyes, desperation is the absolute opposite of value. You have become a liability, a leaky vessel, and no captain abandons a functioning ship for a life raft unless she is sure the ship is going down. Your panic is the explosion in the engine room. You've just proven her right. What she does next is not about moving on. It is about replacement therapy. The human psyche, male or female, cannot tolerate a vacuum. The space you occupied in her daily life, in her emotional ecosystem, must be filled immediately. This is not a conscious, malicious act. It is a biological imperative for emotional homeostasis. She's not seeking an upgrade. She's seeking a plug for the hole. This is the second, more brutal truth. The other man is often just a placeholder. He is a human bandage. He is the emotional scaffolding she puts up while she repairs the damage she believes you caused. He is there to absorb the attention, the texts, the late-night conversations that you used to receive. He is a symptom of her withdrawal from you, not the cause of it. His identity is almost irrelevant. He could be an old friend, a co-worker, a random guy from the gym. His purpose is functional, not romantic. He is the living, breathing proof to herself that she is still desirable, that she can function without you, that her world does not end when your messages do. She is using his presence in her phone, in her DMs, in her life, to cauterize the wound you left. It's a brutal surgical procedure, and you're on the other side of the glass, watching, feeling the phantom pain of an amputated connection. This is the mind twist that will break you if you let it. You are not in a competition with this new man. You're in a competition with her idea of peace, her idea of a drama-free, low-effort future. You represent a problem that needs to be managed. He represents a solution that requires no management. You are complexity. He is simplicity. In the economy of female energy, you have become an energy sink. He is an energy source. Or at least he appears to be. She is trading the volatile, known quantity of you for the stable, unknown quantity of him. And in the short term, the unknown always looks more promising because it hasn't yet revealed its flaws. The third truth is the most painful to admit. She's not a villain. She's an architect. She's building a new emotional structure, and you are not in the blueprints. This is not about good or evil. This is about survival. Her survival. On a deep primal level, a woman is wired to seek the safest, most secure harbor for her heart. When your harbor starts to feel stormy, when the waves of your insecurity and neediness begin to crash against her walls, her instinct is not to ride out the storm, it is to find calmer waters. The deletion of your message is her pulling up the anchor. It is a quiet, decisive act of self-preservation. You're now a memory being edited. Your shared history is being rewritten in her mind. The good times are being framed as exceptions, and the bad times are being cemented as the rule. She is detoxing from you. And like any detox, it is unpleasant. It requires discipline. Ignoring your messages, deleting your presence, is part of that discipline. She is fighting the addiction of your attention, the habit of your voice. Every time she deletes a message without responding, it is a small victory for her willpower over her wiring. She's breaking the chain that connected you, and with every link that snaps, she feels a little stronger, a little more free. This is where the male and female psyche diverge catastrophically. A man thinks in linear, solution-based terms. There is a problem, let's fix it. He wants to engage, to confront, to solve. A woman in this mode is thinking in circular, emotional terms. This feeling is a problem, I must escape it. Engagement is the problem. Your attempt to fix it is just more of the problem she is trying to escape. Your logic is a language she no longer speaks. Your pleas are static on a frequency she has stopped monitoring. The fourth truth is the inventory phase. While you are spiraling, she is conducting a cold, hard audit of your value. She is asking herself one question: over and over. Is he worth the energy? And energy is her most precious currency. It is the currency of text replies, of emotional labor, of planning, of reassurance. You're no longer being measured by your height, your job, or your sense of humor. You are being measured by the emotional cost-benefit analysis you represent. When the cost of managing your emotions, your expectations, your need for closure begins to outweigh the benefit of your companionship, the ledger tips. The deletion is the sound of the ledger slamming shut. She is comparing you to an illusion, the illusion of a perfect, stress-free life. And you, as a real, flawed, human man, cannot compete with an illusion. You have baggage, you have needs, you have flaws. The illusion has none, the placeholder man has none, yet. He is a blank canvas upon which she can project her ideal. You are a finished painting with all your messy, imperfect brushstrokes visible. She would rather stare at a blank canvas than at a masterpiece she has decided is flawed. This process is invisible to you because it happens in the quiet spaces in the shower, on her drive to work, in the 5 minutes before she falls asleep. This is the real battlefield, not your text thread. It is the landscape of her mind, and you are not there to defend yourself. Your case is being tried in absentia. The evidence is all circumstantial, provided by her own fears and disappointments. The verdict is a foregone conclusion. The fifth truth is the most liberating one you will ever hear. Her actions are not a reflection of your worth. They are a reflection of her needs. You are a tool that no longer fits the job she needs done. A hammer is not a bad tool because it can't turn a screw. It is just the wrong tool for that particular task. Her new task is self-preservation and emotional stability. If your presence creates instability, you become the wrong tool. It is that clinical, that impersonal. You are being phased out. It is a corporate restructuring of the heart. You are an employee being made redundant. The deleted messages are your pink slips. The silence is your final paycheck. She is the CEO of her own life, and your department is being shut down. It is not personal. It is business. The business of moving forward, of surviving, of finding a path of least resistance. You have become resistance, and she is an object in motion, following the natural law of seeking a state of rest. What she is really replacing you with is a version of herself that doesn't need you. That is the ultimate replacement. Not another man, but a stronger, more independent, more self-contained iteration of who she is. The other man, the placeholder, is just a prop in that play. He is the stand-in while she learns her new lines, while she practices her new role. The leading lady in a story where you are not the leading man. You've been demoted to a footnote, a deleted message in the script of her life. This is the core of the destruction. It is an identity theft. She is stealing your role in her world and giving it to someone else, or to no one at all. The man you were to her is being dismantled, brick by brick, and the silence is the sledgehammer. You feel it because a part of your identity, the part that was her man, is dying, and you are watching the autopsy in real time via a text thread. There is no body, there is no coffin, there is just the chilling digital stillness where your connection used to live. You must understand the final mechanism, the hope dopamine loop. This is the trap that keeps you hooked. Your brain, in its desperation, latches onto any shred of evidence that things might return to normal, an old photo memory that pops up, a song you both liked come on the radio. This tiny hit of dopamine fuels the hope that maybe, just maybe, she'll text, she'll come back, she'll explain. This hope is a poison. It is the very thing preventing you from detoxing from her. She's already through the worst of her withdrawal from you. You're just beginning yours from her, and your dealer is the memory of what was, fueled by the punishing hope of what could be again. The deletion of the message is her final act of mercy. Whether she knows it or not, it is a clean cut. A brutal, sudden amputation. It hurts like hell, but it heals faster than 1,000 slow, lingering, infected paper cuts. A slow fade is a torture device. The deletion is a surgery. It is the universe's way of telling you that the chapter is over. The book is closed. The library is burning down, and you are standing outside staring at the flames holding a single meaningless page. So you stand there, phone in hand, staring at the space where her words used to be. The battle is over. You lost a connection. But you found something else in the rubble. You found your own spine. You found the line where your self-worth begins and her validation ends. This is the armor. It is not built from bitterness or hate. It is forged in the understanding that you are not a stock to be traded. You are the entire market. You are not a tool in a shed. You are the architect of your own goddamn cathedral. The silence is not your enemy anymore. It is your training ground. It is the space where you learn to hear your own voice again. The voice that doesn't beg, doesn't plead, doesn't seek permission to exist. It is the voice that builds, that creates, that moves forward without looking for a co-pilot. You learn that a man's value is not determined by the messages he receives, but by the life he builds when no one is watching. You become the calm in your own storm. The harbor you were trying to be for her, you now build for yourself. That hollow feeling, fill it with iron. Fill it with the weight of your own purpose. Go to the gym until your muscles burn and your mind is quiet. Open a book and fill your head with someone else's thoughts until you remember your own. Build a business. Master a skill. Do something, anything, that leaves a mark on the world that has nothing to do with her. Your redemption is not in her reply, it is in your rebuild. You stop being the ghost in her machine and become the programmer of your own destiny. You see that little text bubble vanish, and you now see it for what it is, not a wound, but a release. It is the severing of a tether that was holding you down. She is not replacing you with another man. She is replacing the version of you that needed her with a version of herself that doesn't. And your job is to do the same. Become the man who is so invested in his own mission that a deleted message is nothing more than a cleared notification, a closed tab, a minor blip in the epic story you are writing with your life. The font and pain will fade. It will be replaced by a new strength, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you have stared into the abyss of rejection and found that you yourself are enough to fill it. You are the prize, not her, not the relationship, you, your peace, your purpose, your unshakable core. Let the deletion be the first day of the rest of your life, not the last day of the life you used to have. You are not being replaced. You are being upgraded. You see that little text bubble vanish, and you feel a part of you vanish with it. But that part was never really you. It was the part that depended on her for its existence. And now it's gone, and you are still here, stronger, clearer, free. If you felt this hollow silence, if you've stared at that screen and felt your worth crumbling, then you know this battle. You're not alone. This is the first lesson in a much larger war for your own soul. To see how this changes everything, to understand the full map of the female psyche and armor yourself against this silent destruction, you need to see what comes next. This is just the beginning. The path to becoming unbreakable starts with a single choice. Watch the next video. It will change you. Like this video if it resonated with you. Comment below with the one word that describes that feeling of being deleted, and subscribe for the tools to never feel this way again. Your future self is waiting for you to take the first step.